show is brought to you by
Organissima, New York. Your exotic skin, hair, and beauty source, and your one-stop shop for all your natural and organic skin and hair care, featuring authentic organic Moroccan oil and prickly pear seed oil and much more. Bringing you only the best, straight from the source and proudly produced in the USA. So what are you waiting for? Shop today at www.organissima.com. Organissima, New York. Your beauty is our duty.
Folks, welcome back to the ENBC TV network and your host, Hurricane H. One more night, one more day, one more show, one more guest. And today is going to be a unique set. As you can see, I got different colors going on, and it's the Glamour channel today. And so we're talking about something glamorous, something that's going to change your life. And, wait until you hear the story that we have and our guest today. So with me today, an inspiration, and in business, in person, I mean, you name it. I think this guest has it, and I want to give him all the kudos from before even we speak, and bring him on the set here. So without any further ado, I have with me Jake Rosenberg from Krete, and he'll tell us about his company. But before his company, his story and what motivated him to start the company. So, Jake, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Listen, we made it. That's all that matters. And
Yes,
it is time for us to share your value, your insights, and your story. Let's start there. I mean, you have a unique thing that happened to you. So
yes.
What exactly happened, Jake?
I had a ski accident in 2017. I was skiing. I used to compete in skiing. I was a pretty good skier. And it's always the last run of the day or the easy runs that get you. But I had a very bizarre skiing accident. Normally you hit a tree or you tear your ACL. My ski hit some ice and came up and hit me in the face while I was standing like a sword. It's pretty bad. Had helmet on and goggles, but it basically cut open my entire nose. It's pretty rough. Had to, call the ski patrol. They toboggan you down in that little thing and you're like zipped up. It's like like a body bag, basically. Lots of stitches, stay out of the sun for a year and a half, more stitches, microneedling. It's a lot of stuff. I actually had to wear this, which is called a nose cone. It's like a mountaineering thing because I couldn't get sun on my nose. So I had to do that for a year and a half, where every time I left my house, I had to wear that thing. So it's pretty rough because, you're not going to get a lot of attention from the right people, ladies and whatnot, when you're wearing that thing at the beach or wherever.
Well, you'll get attention, but just not the kind of attention you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow. So that is, you're skiing, that was your thing, and just happens. I mean, accidents happen, and everybody. I
hadn't gotten hurt in a million days skiing. I hadn't gotten hurt, and there were some close calls. I remember when I was younger, I flew into a river or just do cliff jumping stuff. It's dangerous stuff, and nothing ever on a blue at the end of the day. One day, ski hits me. So, yeah, that kind of launched me into the world of okay, how do I reduce this scar? And turns out that there were a couple of skincare and cosmetics products that were basically miracle workers, and they just solved it. I mean, you can't. I actually don't have anything on this right now, and you can't see it. And this was like a huge line there, and it's ingredients like hyaluronic acid, some products like concealer that I found in places like Sephora, but the journey I had to take to actually find stuff that worked for me was kind of a nightmare. And so I realized, guys like me who didn't grow up understanding these products. I mean, the industry is called the beauty industry. It's like, it's not for us. We call it the handsomeness industry now. We just need someone to explain it to us, dead simple English, get us only the products we need for the specific skin issues, and make sure it's just no BS. So we started Krete, which makes all products, and our tagline is 30-second skincare, because we want everything to be understood and used in 30 seconds or less, which I wish I had this when I was trying to fix my nose.
Well, I have to say I can't see anything from here. So I mean,
Yeah, that's not an accident, you know.
So I want to just kind of pose a little bit because there's so much stuff that you packed into, into
Yeah,
that 2 minute there. So
yeah,
first thing, the incident or accident that happened, certainly, I want to just go back there and not just, kind of go back to the memory, but certainly like what went into your mind. I mean, in that mind. And the reason I'm asking this because, you know, people always do things, right? And
yeah,
sometimes we do what we love and things happen to us and it can be very, very disastrous, right? It
yeah. It was pretty
destroys you.
traumatizing. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you cope with that? I mean, it is not, especially when you know that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you have to wear this. It's changing your dynamic. Your life is
You
almost
mean
kind
like
of
in the moment
not
or
just
after?
from that moment, beyond because you
Yeah.
don't know
Well,
what happens.
in the moment, there's a lot of blood. I'll say that. Like, it's pretty bad. So I knew, okay, I'm not going to worry about anything but getting off this mountain safely. I didn't know how bad it was. I'm not going to go into the details, but
Yeah.
it's not great. I did, however, make the ski patrol guy take a picture of me doing this with like blood everywhere. So I have that picture, but I'm not going to show it. It's kind of gruesome. So once I actually got help and down the mountain, I started thinking of the longer term implications of once I saw myself in a mirror and I realized it was like, this is going to be scarring. I'm going to look different. This is going to change my life. I didn't know how much. I didn't know. So I tried to not let it bother me in the moment. But then a couple days later, once I realized, oh, this is going to be something, and you can't hide it on your nose. And once those kinds of realizations of like scars take a year and a half to heal if you do everything right and they still are visible, yeah, it was very difficult. I had to relive that. It was pretty traumatizing and experience that I had to relive that every single time I went out. People would say, "What's that? What happened?" Oh my God, and I just have to retell the story over and over. Now it's fine because it's fine, and I started a business based off it, so it works for me. But at the time, it was difficult. I mean, confidence can be everything. That feeling when you get a new shirt or something or a new haircut, and you're just like, "Damn, I look good." Even if it's not the greatest shirt in the world, it's about how you feel in it. And so, whatever the exact opposite of that is what happened to me. And so, I found some products that got me back to feeling great. I have, let's say a pimple or a dark spot or a dark circle because I'm tired. I do this and it disappeared. I'm like, oh my God, I feel great. I go out with more confidence now, having a problem that I hid or fixed than if I had nothing because you feel like you won, you gamed the system. So, that's why I thought that these products were so important. It's like your face is your moneymaker. If it's not doing so hot, you're not going to feel so good. And that can go into mental health and confidence, and that can make you more of an introvert or not go out as much. And a lot of negative kind of feedback loops can happen if you're just not confident in how you look or feel.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and it is important for our audiences. I mean, we wish that nothing happens to any of us, and but accidents do happen. So first things first, we need to be safe. We need to try to be as careful as possible, no matter what we do. Take all the precautions. But even with your helmet, with everything, things can happen. But
Oh, yeah.
what I admire about your story is that your attitude. You dealt with it and
Yeah.
you gotta sell for this is the fact, but I'm not gonna sell for it just and let it be that way. I want to make a difference. I want to change the dynamics, and I'll make sure that it will happen. Something's gonna give, and I want to
Yeah.
look good. I'm gonna do better, and you continued with that, and then you did your research. So you
Yeah.
said you went to Sephora. Now everybody knows Sephora is pretty big out there for cosmetic and stuff, but
Yeah, they have everything you need if you have 2 years to learn the Bible of products and the million things and overbuy by 10x and have saleswomen and salesmen come up to you and sell you stuff you don't need, then they're great. You might eventually end up with products that work, maybe.
well, yeah, I mean they have almost everything that you could think of, but
Exactly.
what you said earlier is that but it was not geared for, let's say, men, right? It's
Yeah,
more like
exactly.
so you figured out a way like, well, why not do something about this that can benefit me but benefit the rest of the people,
Yeah,
right? Other men that could have a similar experience, or you don't know, and so that's innovative. So that's innovation. So you have attitude, you have innovation in your mind, and you are not the person that just stops. I can tell that's not your
no,
personality.
that honestly can be an issue. I'm going to be working super late tonight. I work up too late all the time. Sometimes work-life balance can suffer if you're working nonstop. which, is the non-glamorous side of a startup and being an entrepreneur. Having said that, I always say you trade in a 9 to 5 for a 24/7, but at least you have more purpose potentially. If you love the thing you're doing and you are good at prioritizing your day, the value is there. Every day I work hard. It's for me. It's not just, a charity going out into the ether. It's like, well, if I do make 10,000 more bottles this year, this week, this month, whatever, I get the benefit of those sales. So yeah, you have to know how to stop though. That is something I will say.
Well, true, and you're talking about the concept of owning a business, and and you're doing that. I mean, you're turning a difficult situation into an opportunity, and then now into potentially an empire. So we got to track you.
I got about 2 more years till it's an empire.
I love it. That's exactly that.
I'd say I'm the prince of skincare. I'll be the king in like a year or 2.
That's it, and that's the spirit. You see yourself already there, and there's nothing better. I can relate to that feeling when you know where you want to be and you have that vision. You already see yourself in that vision. It is just a beautiful feeling, and a lot of people watching, listening right now, this is inspiration 101. I mean, if you have any dream, anything that you aspire to, this could be something that can really spark that in you. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a picnic. Long hours. But know about this, long hours in the beginning, and then you can rest for a long time because things will be happening and your life will become, whatever you want it to be. So again, I thank you for sharing that, because again, I wanted to take a moment just because the story itself has a spin, and the spin is that you're doing well. You've managed your situation well, and your attitude is keeping up, but you took that and to the next level. You started a company based on an opportunity, a need, and you also have a niche. I mean, this is like a niche thing, It is. It's a niche.
I mean, even though it's for all guys, it's still a niche. It's about 1/8 to 1/10 as big as it is for females, and growing more, almost double the speed. But it'll be a while before it catches up.
Well, but that's again, you have a whole market. I mean, there's not much available for the guys. I mean, we kind of take the stuff from the ladies, but really, I mean, something that is dedicated, unique. This is a very sweet thing, and that's exactly what happens with a lot of these products in history that just happen because there's a need, and someone takes that initiative, makes it happen. You did that, and you did it because it works. Not only you saw the opportunity, but also it works because
the products work well. Well, to go a step crazier, I actually taught myself chemistry. I had an engineering-ish background, math and econ, and some various engineering pursuits. I taught myself chemistry and actually formulated the first 2 products. Now we've sold thousands and thousands of them, and our return rate is like less than 1%, because basically the way in which the manufacturers and formulators in this industry operate, they're stuck in like 1986. It's like they don't have a modern approach, an agile approach, a lot more experimentation, fast results. They take 3 weeks to get back to an email. So they said it was going to be between 9 and 18 months to develop a formula. And I said, I'm trying to do this in like a month or 2, And the reason is I asked them for something. Okay, let's set up a call in 2 weeks to talk about it. You set up the call, they order the stuff, it arrives in 2 more weeks. Then in 2 more weeks, they formulate it. Then they say, oh, it's not great. The turnaround times are just, there's no, unless you're a multi-billion-dollar company coming to them, they don't care. You're just, hopefully you grow one day. So, I made hundreds of formulas. I took all the best products. I broke down the ingredients lists. I ordered them, I tested them, and I came up with this, which, like I said, we've sold so many of them and nobody returns them. It's amazing. It's a hyaluronic acid serum. It's essentially the most powerful moisturizer, and it was what helped my nose scar reduce. But it's got anti-aging properties, removes dry skin, redness. It's just the absolute best moisturizer on earth. And I know that because it wasn't. And then I kept formulating till it was, making it a little better, adding a little more of this ingredient, a little more of that, etc. And so, by just brute force, we made hundreds of formulas and got just this phenomenal one. Then we did it again, and now we're going to do it again and again and again. So, we are trying to innovate at every level of this. We think that the products, customers demand quality at this point. Marketing will get them the first bottle. But if it's not good enough, they're not going to get the second or third. We don't want to do any work once we've gotten it in your hands. Our job is done. You love it. You're going to want to order it again. And so we don't lose customers once we get them, basically.
I think you just taught a lot of people a good business lesson in less than 2
Yeah,
minutes.
make your product so good you don't have to remind people to buy it again because they will want it. And then make it almost free for them to get in the first place. You know, we offer like a $6 trial. The bottle's $39. Like it's 84% off. We know once you get one, you're going to do it again. But yeah, that was an extra layer of difficulty at the beginning to learn chemistry, to formulate this. As a crazy thing to do. Now it's paying off because now we don't have to worry about returns and issues and all those other things. So the work up front almost always pays off 10 times, especially as you scale.
It does. It does. So how long did it take you exactly from inception, from idea to actually product, with all the time that you testing the companies, doing your own research, building it up, working on the formulations, and ultimately delivering it to the marketplace?
It started in like May 2019. And I was an outsider, complete outsider to this industry. So I was like, who do I even talk to? Where do I even go? So, the first couple of months was chasing my tail. It's not like I probably incorporated in an LLC in Delaware, registered in California, the basic kinds of things. Nothing happened. Then I realized a huge discovery was that it turns out that California, especially Southern California, is actually like the skincare hub of the United States and of like North America. Chatsworth in the Valley here, 20, 30 minutes from me. Nothing gets made in California. It's not a very business-friendly state. Regulations, especially when it comes to manufacturing, things like that, high taxes, high labor costs. Yet, because these are such high-margin products, you can make them here. So, so much skincare is made here. So it turns out that just by luck, if you want to be in skincare or entertainment, LA is the place to be. People don't know that about skincare. So I kept meeting the right people. And that really helped put me in touch with chemists to help elevate my formulas, and manufacturing people, designers, packaging designers, component suppliers. There's a conference here every week for beauty. I hate that. It's the beauty industry. I said that already, but it's just so alienating of most guys. Like if I heard that, I'd run, So it took a couple of months after I started to really know what I was doing. And then probably about 6 months in, I discovered, because we originally wanted to start with concealer because that's what had the biggest impact. I started thinking, well, the concealer is going to take a while to develop. The chemistry of a serum is significantly easier. Let me try it myself, because I didn't want to wait 18 months. The concealer took about 12 to 18 months because we worked with an outside manufacturer. So the serum ended up coming first by a year, and it's kind of exploded. And now we have two of them, and the concealer is coming soon. So, this ended up being the hero ingredient of the company, even though it was, when I started the company, I didn't even really know I was going to make one.
Well, you had the idea, you had the motivation and the drive. And, I love what you said about, you're the typical invention man or entrepreneur, because you took it like, okay, well, I can't figure this out, out there's so much stuff going on. Let me learn. And the best way to actually be good at whatever you do is to learn everything that you need in your business. And you took the time to do that while you're testing, and you maneuvered left and right. You went to the places, you did your research, and you kept at it. You didn't give up. That's the other thing. I mean, sometimes people feel like, oh my God, if I start, once you start.
That's a trait that I think is, I don't know if genetic or the way I was raised or something. I did a lot of martial arts and they drilled discipline into me. Maybe it's my parents always tell me that when you achieve stuff yourself, it's worth so much more. In school, you study for an A at the end of the year. So maybe certain things kind of let me have a long view of it. But yeah, I just, at no point did I consider giving up, even when it was crazy. And it made I didn't know what I was doing at the beginning, and I was outside of the industry. At no point did I consider that stopping it, even as an option. And I think sometimes if you have that attitude, it might make you chase something not so great for a while. So make sure the direction you're going is good. I thought that this business was sound. I knew that the margins were good, regulations are low, fulfillment is easy, it's a repeat customer process. There are places that can help you scale and manufacture, and it has to do with instantaneous transformations in a visual world. We're sitting right here. If I had something like a pimple here, I could use the concealer on this podcast and show you. Most products don't have those elements. So I actually thought about all those things before I started this business and thought, okay, well, have to have a great product. Grind my way to a great product. Have to have great branding. Okay, we did that. Have to have a good website and marketing funnel. So you build these things up, but and you try to not necessarily innovate, but just do each level as well as you can. But yeah, I didn't go into this just thinking, oh, I hope it works out. I had an idea that if I executed, it would be a very good business.
Well, I mean, I think you had the idea because you had it from all angles. I mean, you did your due diligence within yourself and whoever was helping you. You looked at the whole, you had the vision, you broke it down to what's needed. You looked at everything that what could go wrong, what we can do better, how we can be the best, in the marketplace, and let's get started. And you're right. There is no such thing as giving up once you know that this is it. And it takes time, but it took how long before you actually got into the, you said you started to 2019. When did you actually?
We started selling in 2021. I mean, a lot of that, like the lockdown made and the supply chain issues made getting components impossible. So I would say that's just like a year of, we actually switched. We worked on packaging designs, branding, things that we could do digitally. Yeah. But we couldn't actually really start selling until summer of last year. We sold decently well for about 6 months. And then in January, we switched to a subscription model because one of the things we kept seeing is someone would come and buy one bottle and then they'd come back like a month and a half later and buy 3. And, a 3-pack is $100. It's not cheap, but I mean, it lasts 3 to 6 months and it's the best skincare on earth. So it's like, it's $100 a low price to pay for looking amazing and feeling amazing and having no skin issues. Yeah, that's pretty much free.
That's not expensive at all in the world of aesthetics and cosmetics.
No, exactly. I mean, if you think about like what a nice shirt is versus how your face looks for 6 months, it's like
there's no comparison. There's no price.
So we saw that and we said, we're not even marketing to these people to come back and they're tripling their order a month later. Okay, maybe we should consider a monthly subscription. And so in January, we switched to that and that changed the whole business because we basically found out that if people stay on from, $6 and then 30, people make it to the $30 bottle, they like 90% of them stay. And we're talking about stay like, it's month 11 now. So we've had 10 months to see it. We've had people from January getting it every single month. I can't even use it that fast. Like I use it every day and I'm like, these guys must be just soaking themselves in it. And
or sharing it. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty great. Yeah. So one other thing that we did is we reach out to a lot of our customers or like power users and say like, what do you like about it? And they just say, I found the thing that solves like my skin issues and it's one bottle and it's tiny and it takes no time to use. It's like, okay, so it's the product. Got it. It's not just the box. It's not that our stuff lines up and it looks nice. It's not the color of green. At the end of the day, it comes down to what's in the bottle. And so that's my major piece of advice is if you don't have a product that is the best, you're wasting your time because anyone can run an ad that gets it into your customer's hands, right? But then there is no convincing them unless they like it. And if it's good, they'll like it. I can tell you I can lie in an ad. Anyone can say anything they want and get something ordered, but it'll get returned or just they'll never order again if it sucks. So,
or they just basically spread the word that this is not a good product. That kills your opportunity there. So, but. So Jake, one thing that may be a hurdle in almost everybody watching, probably listening or even entertaining, get into a business concept, and that would be cost, finances. I mean, capital to get this stuff. I'm not going to ask about the source, but
Well, I'm the source, to be honest. I self-funded it for 3.5 years. Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that because if there's a will, there's a way. And the best way sometimes is you invest in your own, business, in your own, vision, your own opportunity, and whatever it takes. And you did it from learning to spending the money to strategizing to getting it done from, inception to delivery. And that is actually, again, admirable because people listening and watching right now, especially if someone is interested in starting their own business, whatever it may be, this is from the inspiration motivation piece of it. This is it. Sometimes people have these excuses. Oh, I don't have the money. I can't do this. You moonlight, you do whatever it takes. You spend your own money, you work until you get it done. And bottom line, one day you'll see the results and you'll be like, yes. And then you're free for the rest of your life. Well,
here's the thing. Even if someone came along and bought my company for $1 billion tomorrow, I'd start something else. I don't think I'm a vacation forever guy. I'd like a week off here too. But yeah, I'm not sailing into the sunset. I'm probably going to start something else. So that's just in me. It's kind of my sport, that's just kind of how it feels like. I wake up, I have to be, a lawyer for a patent thing. I have to negotiate contracts with manufacturers. I have to think about formulations and chemistry, branding. I'm writing lines for some ads. I'm talking to my email, you have to be a million things. And I like that. I enjoy that. So, but yeah, as far as funding it, it really made me focus on every dollar. I did all my own legal work. I filed all our trademarks myself, all those kinds of things. And it was thousands of dollars to save here and there. There's so many resources online. I mean, I taught myself chemistry, there's resources that was through Google and YouTube. And I became I can talk to professional formulators. Took me 3 months of dedicated driving in, basically a semester of just doing that for free. It's just about time. And so the only real time I had to actually put up serious capital was when we started doing paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram. But, before that, it was a very minimal investment that, if you have any amount of savings, most people could have done. It's just, are you willing to learn about trademarks and do them yourself? Are you willing to learn about how to physically manufacture what you're making yourself? Up to enough point where maybe you raise money or it's profitable, and that kind of separates some of the companies that raise too early or don't work versus some other ones.
Well, this is also saying a lot about your, I would say, leadership skills and just the way you are made. Like you said, maybe the way you were raised, or it's just, and you mentioned the martial arts, and I relate to that. I've been in martial arts since I was 9, 40 years ago. And I can tell you that is the same thing. I mean, it's all about, people don't realize how that is important and how it structure your thinking and your process, and you see through things, and you're disciplined, and you take everything for what it's worth and you make it work. And just I don't know what arts you took, but whatever it is, whatever strike, block, kick, whatever technique you use, you do it to perfection. And that's actually, that applies in real life. And I just
remember, I'm remembering the days of I did Hapkido, Kumdo, and Taekwondo.
Ooh, so nice.
with 3 different ones, and they're all pretty different. Especially with Kumdo, you would just take the sword and you would do that back and forth for 2 hours, just doing nothing but that, just striking the same thing. And that's why I always remember it's to perfection, sure, something like that.
It is. I mean, if you apply those concepts in life, life would always be easier. And sometimes people don't see that. They don't have that training, and it is really a training. It's a drilled in you, and it works. And you apply it in person, in life, in family, it's still structure, and it's part of your life. It becomes your DNA. And the results are here. We can hear it, we can see it, and they are in the marketplace. So let's talk about the name. Krete. We're talking about like Greece, but so what's the driver behind it?
So it was the intersection of 2 different situations. The first one was I just genuinely like names like Nike and Kith and Knicks. I liked the K's, R's, T's, X's sounds. I thought they were just kind of sexy, a little gender neutral, because I didn't want this to be so masculine, fucking dude paint or something, I just wanted it to be a nice, Nike is just a beautiful name to me. So I thought, okay, something Greek would just, those are all Greek words, Nyx Cosmetics is another one for women, but I just like the way it sounds. So I looked at, Greek gods and Roman god name, all this. It was so stupid. I'm not going to call this the company Achilles or something else. And then separately, when I was thinking about the concealer, I thought, a similar product for women is foundation. It's another color cosmetic. And so I thought women have foundation, and thinking from a construction site, okay, guys will have concrete. And so I was like, oh, I'll call the concealer concrete. Oh, concrete. Oh, there's the name. Oh, it's Greek. Okay, great. And then because the island in Greece is with Crete, I changed it to a K so that we could differentiate when we're Googled, and that was it. Simple. We own everything, all the trademarks, all the domain names. It's, gender neutral, but masculine and strong, has a little bit of, depth to it. And it's very difficult to misspell, for people Googling it.
Oh, it is catchy, and I love the spin, and again, you looked at it from every angle, and that's what gave.
I tried to.
Well, I think you did. So, a lot of people try, but people, some people do, and I think in your case you did. You just worked towards the final product and the delivery, and you did it, and it's out there. So now, almost a little over a year in the making. I know you have how many products exactly? 3?
We have one.
Oh,
We are
one.
launching another one in Black Friday, and we have another one ordered, but it's not going to be here till January. And that's the concealers coming in January. I can say that.
So
we
one.
have 5 or 6 more in development for next year as well.
All right, so again, I thought I heard 3 pieces. One that's out, that's the one, and then you have the ones that are working, which is the concealer, right?
The concealer is the basically, let's say I had a pimple here or something. You do this, and it's gone. We're calling it the camo pen because we're kind of calling it camouflage. In the testing, we thought a lot of guys like that, and it comes in a little click pen that's discreet. So you just go ... and it's so easy. We made it easy. A lot of female ones, they have something called a doe foot, like like a doe is like a baby deer or something, or it's like it looks like a little cottontail. Yeah. It's all these little feminine things that make guys go nope. It's like, okay, we'll put in a pen, you click it up through little holes, and you just dab it. So that comes out January. The second thing that comes out is a body serum. It's essentially this, but with a couple of different ingredients. It's odorless, so that way, because you don't want something to interfere with cologne or other things like that. And it has something called tripeptide 29, which helps with collagen synthesis, which helps kind of strengthen and thicker and tougher skin, add a little more elasticity. So if you get a sunburn too, this stuff is like a miracle cure for sunburns. But it's general use skincare. It's like put it on when you can think about it, and your skin is just going to be better. And
so I'm assuming this is all skin types and any weather, or is there any specific needs to?
No, unless you're actively standing in the rain, it's probably not going to.
Of course.
We make it for all skin types. We make sure to try to use as little to no. We so far our first 3 products are oil free, because 20 to 30% of the population will have skin issues if products have oil. We make sure to use our preservatives are very gentle, and they are, our products are not comedogenic. They are for all skin types, including sensitive skin. I think it's a challenge to do that, to make a good product that works for everyone. But it had to be done. I mean, that's what took so long. There are some good products out there that will work for 60% of people and give the other 60% active skin issues. And it's like, that's not. Well, great. You screwed a third of the population. That's not very nice. So ours are water-based. They have the correct molecular weights of hyaluronic acid to actually be effective. We import apple stem cell extract from Switzerland. We really tested every ingredient that made sense and said, these work. Let's do just those and no other fillers, no other bullshit. And that, it made it a little bit more expensive. So we sold it for a little bit more.
Well, I mean, quality, right? Again, I still don't think the price is high, specifically for the purpose of the product. Absolutely. And definitely the quality. You don't sacrifice quality for price sometimes. You can ask anybody. You can buy 3 cheap things, for the cost of 1 good thing, and and it costs you a lot more, if you do it, because it's not going to give you the same results. So quality is always important, and I think you've mixed those components together. Good quality, nice price, and that's it. And the formula of the payment, I love the subscription piece, because now you're hooked. I mean, something that you can have. This is ongoing. And once you like it, that's it. You're going to use this, going to be your thing.
And we allow you to skip months. Look, getting it every single month is too much for a lot of people. So we saw that people were canceling, and we asked them why, and they're like, well, I just don't need it every month. We're like, oh, well, you can freeze it. Get a big discount. We're like, yeah, you can freeze it. You can pause it. You can just email us and we'll pause it for you. And people are like, oh, okay.
Do that?
So I get, we get a couple emails a day that say, can I skip this next month? I'm like, great. I always look at that person. They've ordered 4 bottles. They want to skip 1 month, and then they're going to order another 3 or 4, and then they're going to skip 1. It's just, we want to make customers happy. So, that is also another thing, to go back to an earlier point. It's like, when one day you can retire and you don't have to work for anybody, etc. A lot of people tell me I don't work for anybody, and they could not be more wrong. I work for my customers. If I don't make them happy, I don't have a boss, but I do. If I don't make my customers happy, I have no business. I have no sales. I have no revenue. I just have inventory I spent money on. So everybody has a boss. And
I
so
think
you have to realize who your boss is.
I think you should trademark that one.
Yeah.
That's a good line, man. That's I know it's powerful. I think people watching. Listen, I've been in business for years, and this is probably one of the best lines I've heard in a long time
Okay, I'll
about
take
customer
it.
service. Oh yeah, just take it, man. It's difficult to find people that actually have the drive about the customer drive. Like it's all about the customers, and I think we've lost that touch. In a lot of areas.
Who else matters? I mean, obviously your team matters. And there's a lot of books that talk about if you keep your team happy, your customers will be happy because they'll make a better
Sure.
product. But it's also your customers are amazing. They will tell you what they love and hate, nothing in between. They'll tell you what they love or hate about your product. Most of the time, the loudest people are the ones who don't like it. We don't have many of them, but when they email me saying something ridiculous, I pick up the phone. I'm like, hey, what's up? Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want. Okay, why? I ask. And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually the CEO and founder. And they're like, what? What are you like? Why are you answering the phone? I get that. I'm like, because when you tell me what you don't like or do like, I then can immediately go tell the right person, hey, we're getting a bunch of people saying that the cap is falling off too much. Like, let's go get another cap, whatever. So by even things that are that subtle, if I'm disconnected from the customer, there's no way they're going to get implemented. And, in the early days, you want to see customer feedback. Now we're big enough where we kind of aggregate it and like pay attention to emails and things like that. It's easier. And, this has been through the ringer. So it's a pretty good product at this point. But yeah, if you're not actively seeking feedback, negative or positive, either to reinforce your behaviors or to change your decisions, your original idea is not going to be the one that is the lotto ticket that magically works. I think it's Mike Tyson or someone that said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. It's like your business plan and your product is not going to survive its first iteration with customers. You need to get it to them, see what they think, and change it so they like it.
Well, you have been in martial arts, and you know that if you, like I always say, if you just punch a bag, the bag doesn't punch. I mean, it doesn't punch you back. But when you're in a real mix and you feel the punch, that's how you learn exactly what it feels. You know how to avoid it. And you know the impact. So you got to be in the trenches. You got to roll your sleeve. You got to have to really understand what's going on and ask for the feedback, and that's important. But I love your attitude about being involved, being fully focused on your customers. And by the way, we mentioned something about employees. They're also your customers. That's the part that sometimes we don't realize that,
They have to buy into you and your business.
Well,
they don't buy into the product, they buy into the business. Yeah.
Well, the business, but the product too sometimes. I mean, especially if it's a good product, your customers, can be your first employees can be the customers. And then it just, again, everyone that you touch, it should be your priority, and they should be like where your focus is, and that's where you need to get your information and real juice of what you need to do in the next step, because they can tell you what the next product is. They can give you ideas.
I will say this: if people are not your customers and are talking shit, they don't matter. I talk shit back on Facebook and Instagram or comments all the time. It's like it's like sport for me. It's very fun. People will say stuff like, be a man, don't use this snake oil, like once in a while. And they're not, I'll look at their name and I'll see, I'm like, they're not customers. They just have some weird personal issue. And I'll just be like, I'll just say, this is the situation. Like you are watching a skincare ad to completion, going in the comments and talking shit about it. Like, do you not value your own time that much or something, or someone's like, we have one of our models. He's 73. He looks 50. His skin's amazing. He's been using Krete for like a year or so. And people will say like, he looks 80. I post a link to Lens Crafters, under their thing. It's like, no, he genuinely doesn't. His ads sell a ton of stuff. So I know people think he looks younger, guaranteed. And so when people say he doesn't, I have a Lens Crafter link in my notes on my phone. I just post it. It's like, here, get your eyes checked.
Jake, you touch on a very, you touch on a touchy topic, and it's amazing that today a lot of dairy people, and sometimes to your point, they don't value time. They don't value. They just have no nothing to do, and they just go and really crap on somebody's feed, sometimes, and for no reason, and it's not even constructive. They, to your point, they haven't tested the stuff. It's just opinionated stuff, and they do it for what reason? I have no idea. But this is not. It's everywhere.
Well, that's just human behavior. I don't take it personally. I actually think it's an opportunity to show what the brand is funny and irreverent. We don't delete any of those things unless someone says something like really disgusting. Then we just like that's just negativity that doesn't need to be out there. But if someone's just being an idiot, I love it. I laugh. I take screenshots. I share it with our team. We all laugh about that stuff. Like, one of my favorite things to do is some reason people like to put in half of the BS comments we get or more. If you go into their profile picture and scroll one or two to the right, almost guaranteed they have some weird inspirational quote. So what I like to do is I like to quote that back to them. And it sometimes refutes their own thing. It's like, bring love into the world, not hate, was one. Man. Someone was bringing hate, and I just quoted, bring love into the world, not hate, – your profile picture. And that got like 30 likes in a couple of hours. Like random people were like, dude, you went in his, like this brain is crazy. And I probably one or two people bought it because they just like that we do that. We don't really like to take shit from people, but we absolutely listen to our real customers. So it's funny because, you don't have to just be like, oh, everyone is right and we just need to listen. No, listen to the people that matter, the people who bought your product.
Well, and by the way, you're doing the right thing because in a way, your product, there's no shame in the game. You did something good. And you know what? Instead of people maybe praising the work that you've done, and hey, listen, there's so much, that millions of products out there, and they come into your product because it just pops up on their screen. Like I had somebody one time stayed almost the same to me, like, oh, why you coming into my feed? I'm like, dude, this is Facebook. You just happen to be their customer. Get out of Facebook if you don't want. If you want not get an ad.
Why is it coming up on my feed?
Yeah, I know.
I'll just be like Facebook, and I'll respond. Facebook is an ads platform.
Exactly.
They go, what?
Yeah, you don't want to be in it.
Just get out. How the third most valuable company in the world makes their money? It's ads, man. It's
it's free for you, right? So if you don't want it, just get off, and you're not
going
to get it.
You're the product, right?
but again, I had exactly the same comment one time. But again, that's you're gonna have a percent of those people that unfortunately they got negativity, all around them. We from this platform, I guess I try to keep positive in everybody. So. They might have their own tough times, whatever they're going through. Maybe sometimes to your point, you throw in a comment back at them, and that makes them realize that oh my God, I was just.
I don't ever go after them personally. That would be That would just be too low. All I do is try to refute their point of talking shit to us, because that to me is taking their negativity to zero. It's not throwing it back at them. It essentially makes it a zero sum as opposed to an active negative. So. Yeah, I mean, our brand is all about positivity. It's just about positivity and strength, and confidence. And so, we have to be that when we can as well.
Well, your story is all about that, right? And I think the way the whole product is developed for the same reason, to make people look good, feel good, have the best attitude, and live a happy life. And so there's nothing wrong about it. So when someone goes in, listen, people sometimes they have this feeling that they have an opinion and they can share it. You know what I say to people? If you don't like my stuff, just scroll up, scroll down, or just don't tune into my station and get out. I mean, there's other stations out there. I mean, there's millions of feeds out there. So same thing here. I mean, you see ad. I mean, you know how many ads I get every day? You think I'm going to bother to comment every ad I see? I just, just keep scrolling, right? I mean, but to your point, people have, audacity sometimes to go in there and just, they have the time. Like, I mean, get a life, dude. but or put something positive. Maybe give me some constructive criticism. I'll take it. Yeah,
absolutely.
So
here's the important part: constructive criticism is good. If I'm telling you something that's wrong, but in a way that helps you make it right, that's beautiful, because nothing is perfect. And so to point out flaws in something in a way that someone can improve or get rid of the flaws, thank you. If you're just going to make up shit, like, you're not helping me, you're actively trying to distract me. For instance, if you just say like real guys don't wear skincare or something crazy like that, that doesn't help. That just means our business and our entire industry shouldn't exist. There's nowhere to go with that. So we will talk shit back to that person 100%. But because we just think, I don't know, maybe he'll just think twice before doing that on someone else's and bringing negativity somewhere else. But it's it's interesting because we live in a world of such instantaneous and global communication that, the arena of strangers having a conversation against something that has been traditionally taboo, which is, guys putting any skincare products on their face. I just I don't see it that way. And so it's usually older guys who make these comments. And to me, it's like, well, I'm not saying guys need to be feminine. I don't see what's feminine about, I have dark circles. Let me put a thing on so I just don't look tired. I'm not making my eyelashes longer. I'm not making my lips more red. I have dry skin, so I do this and I don't have dry skin. I don't know.
Well, no, actually, your solution to, you said it. I mean, somebody, you got a scar, you got this, you got that. You're helping them fix that. So there's nothing wrong with that. And frankly, what I don't get sometimes is the fact that people will criticize, not understanding anything about the product or the company or the source and what you've done and how much work you went. They just pick the least amount of thing that they can see or the first thing they see from their little lens, and they just kind of like start commenting instead of looking at like how much effort you put in there.
That's honestly, that doesn't faze me. That's the job you sign up for. You need to in this type of work, and when you're an entrepreneur, you need to have a lot of self-confidence, because the world will not validate you for a long time. It will validate you, profitability and sales, a product that people don't return, but it took us years to get there and a lot of risk, So you need to know that you're on the right path, and you need to be confident, and you need to have grit and determination. I mean, sure, people along the way validated me. When I get a box design in, week 3, oh, wow, that looks great. When I come up with a name, I like it. So there's validation points at times, but not like genuinely fulfilling like life validation until you start actually having something material. So at this point, we actually do have something material. So now when someone talks shit, it's like, it's actively entertaining for me. So you kind of have to just, turn it into a game and not let it faze you.
Well, thank you. So you talked about validation. So let me ask this, just curiosity, because I know this is something that I hear a lot, and I've seen it personally. How much of your personal circles have supported you? And that's a big question, because sometimes a lot.
My family has been unbelievable. They've even helped me like manufacture the first batch a while ago. They've been there at every step of the way. My brother helps me in the company. He helps me with a lot of the copy and creative direction of certain things, and he's helped me recruit people. My parents have always been incredibly supportive. Especially during the more, the early times when it's very difficult, and you're getting started. So that my friends are supportive. It is funny though, when you launch a product like this, a consumer good, there's two like your best friends will behave in one of two ways. They'll either just be like, "Hey, my best friend, I want it for free," or, "Oh, you're my best friend, I'm definitely going to buy like a 17 pack and support you." And there's nothing in between. So it was very funny because, friends of mine I've known for 20 years, 10 to 15 years from college. Some of them were like, "Dude, that's amazing. I want to, can you send me some?" And "Yeah, of course, you're my friend. I'll send you some." And then his roommate will have bought a ton to support me. So it's really funny that, those were the two splits. But yeah, the first sale we ever had was one of my friends, and the first probably 30 was family and friend, just to get off the ground, testing if the website works, those kinds of things. But I've also been very supportive and helpful for people, and so I feel blessed when I get that support, but I was never expecting it. I've always tried to help friends with business, life things, whatever. So when it came time for me to ask for something, people were willing to help me.
Well, thank you, Jack. Because the reason I'm asking this question, just for our listeners, because it is important to actually support, folks when they are trying something and doing something. When I see someone starting a business, I feel great about them. I mean, I'll push them. I'll be like, I'll promote your product. It doesn't matter, because you know what? It's a great thing. I mean, I think Elon Musk just said something. I read something the other day. They said, we have baby showers, we should have business showers for people who start businesses. I mean, it's
I don't disagree. I like that.
I know, I love it actually, and the support system is also a motivation. It's something that keeps you motivated, like you're in gear, and you feel good that people are there for you. They're not like you're not by alone. And then the other part you said, I mean, to your point, there's got to be people that either not gonna buy it then because they expect it for free, and then there are people that will just support you to the extreme, and then there are people that may not just do anything. I mean,
There are people, and I'll keep this very vague, but there are some people who I thought would be proud of me who are actually jealous because and they don't understand the insane amounts of hard work and sacrifice I've made for this. All they see is now, oh wow, we have sales and great reviews and a lot of these things. It's like, and they see my ads 5 times a day. And so they're the only 1 or 2 people have gotten actually like my relationship with them has gotten worse. It's like, well, that's not supposed to happen. I'm finally having the success. Let's celebrate it together. And so I don't know, it's actually interesting. So, you never know how people around you are going to behave until you're in a certain situation. So, but for the most part, I had a lot of support. I've had, I never really had a ton of mentors, but I didn't really need it. I had a pretty solid group of entrepreneurial friends and we all support each other. Like I said, my family's been fantastic. So, where it mattered, I felt supported. And that's probably also where I get a lot of confidence from is because, they supported me as I was studying hard in school. They helped me through higher education and go to Penn and all those kinds of things. So I never really had to doubt that I had the support of my family. And that's a powerful thing just to know that I can spend a year fucking up and oops, I don't know if I can curse on here.
it's okay.
Messing up. Sorry.
No, it's all right. No
the
worries.
New Yorker comes out sometimes.
It's all good, baby. Well, listen,
Right.
I mean, I really appreciate, your being open about things and sharing the value because I think some of this message is really for our audiences and many young people that may want to start their businesses and maybe even people that are, mid-age that are trying to do something and change careers, whatever the case may be. Just understand the dynamics. And you're right. There are people, unfortunately, that for some reason, just because you did it and they didn't do it, they kind of like, why you, right? And it just turns into some sort of, a vibe that is, I can never understand it, envy maybe, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, I think that's a minute number of folks and the majority is always there. And you said something powerful. You were there for others without expectations. And then when the tide turned to your side and they were there for you. And that's beautiful. And again, folks out there, listen, if you have a dream, you have an idea, you have a goal, whatever it takes, you have a circumstance like something that happened where you see a need and an opportunity, take it, work with it, do whatever it takes, make it happen. And that's about it. And the success will be there. Period enough.
It's inevitable. And the second you think you're going to quit, the next day is when the success is going to happen. So just don't quit.
I love it. So let's go with that. So what would be 3 pieces of advice you would leave our audiences with today?
The first piece of advice is the internet is an amazing place. You can learn anything you want for free. You just have to know how to find the actual accurate information and have some determination. I literally taught myself chemistry. Like that's not, origami or some hobby. Like I taught myself how to be a professional formulating chemist from Google and YouTube in a month and a half to 2 months. So you can do it. The second thing is everything is always about people. I couldn't do any of this at this point, especially not the scale without my team. You want to work with A+ people. They don't necessarily even need to have the knowledge. They need to be the kind of people that will learn the knowledge and challenge themselves and be kind of managers of one. Okay, they can manage themselves. So when you hire an A+ person, they'll give you that. When you hire a B person, they'll bring you a C effort and things will kind of go down. So people, everything on the internet is free. And then it's far easier to spend less than it is to make more. If you have $1, try, and you need to get trademarks filed, try to learn how to make 2 trademarks yourself, because saving a couple of grand from going to a lawyer, you can use it in a million other places. That's why we had a lot of success at the beginning. We learned how to do stuff ourselves and we saved every dollar we could, because at that point we weren't making a lot. So even now that we're making more, saving, and that's in our DNA, we're profitable because of that behavior. So I'd say those are my 3 lessons.
All right. So last but not least, where can people purchase your product?
They can go to Krete, Krete.club.club, so not .com. Krete.club. You'll see this guy right here, this hyaluronic acid serum. Sign up for the $6 trial. If you don't like it, cancel. You know, you're going to like it, so I'm not worried about saying that. It's a $39 thing. Every other month, it's 22% off. So, yeah, go to Krete.club.
All right. So we will have that link available in the description of the show. So people, hey, test it out, see what's up, and you'll love it. And that's about it. Jake, I do want to wish you all the success and much more success. And, maybe a couple of years from now, when you are at that level, we'd like to have you back and we can talk about that and say, hey, this is what I said 2 years ago and I'm here.
Yeah, what I say, I was the skincare prince right now. So when I'm the skincare king, I'll come back.
There you go. Listen, it's all about attitude and mindset. And I think you have the drive there. You will no doubt be there. So we will watch you carefully.
Thank you, man.
And your success, man. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy. Bye-bye. Folks, thank you for being with us today and watching the show, listening in. I'm Hurricane H. We'll be talking soon. New day, new show, new topic. Bye for now.